Mm, New day. Mm. New day, new way. Turn it up, leaning 15 minutes. Let the change begin. Busy life, big dreams, so much noise in your ears. We cut straight through, make the next step clear. Thought for Thursday, real talk, real tools right now. In 15 we move the dial, simple steps, strong moves, you'll see how. Thought for Thursday, clarity that sticks, you'll feel it from insight to action. And impact that stays. Thought for Thursday, let's change a day.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Thought for Thursday. I hope that we have had a great week. We are at Thursday, so hey, guess what? We are almost there, and we have a holiday weekend coming up for those who celebrate Easter. We've got a long weekend coming up for many, and I'm thrilled actually to have you here with me right now. So, whether you are listening to this during the day or in the morning or whenever it is in the evening, thank you for listening. And tonight, I want to talk to you a little more about the topic that I teased with. And that topic was plugging into your journey. And for those of you who have heard me in the past or you've worked with me, you understand that I frequently talk about the importance of being able to plug into your journey. And it is important for a number of reasons. Our journey, of course, I'm referring to the life that we have lived, the experiences that we've had, both the good and the bad, the things that have caused us to grow, the things that have perhaps caused us to be stuck at some point in life, and the things that we have used as fuel to help us to make it to where it is we desire to go. So I want to talk to us a little about that and perhaps even tear down some of the ideas that we may have about our journey, some of the things that we don't necessarily like to recall, some of the things that we don't want to relive, some of the things that bring us joy, and some of the things that don't make us so happy. How is it that we plug in? How is it that we use all of these things in helping us to get to where it is that we want to go? Many times we spend so much energy kind of trying to figure out the difficult things. Why is it that we've gone through what we've gone through? And we spend so much time focused in on the why this has happened to me, and, kind of letting that really have an effect and keeping us stuck in many ways. We spend a lot of time focusing on the why and the pain of it all, so much so that we kind of miss the lessons and the strength and the wisdom that really comes out of the experiences that don't always make us jump for joy, that don't always make us happy. Um, and every disappointment, I want you to understand tonight, nobody wants them, of course, but every disappointment, every setback, every loss, every closed door, every painful relationship, mistake, rejection, we can go on and on, right? Any challenge that has really given us a run for our money, so to speak, there is something in it for us. It may have given us strength. It may have given us wisdom. It may have shown you what it is that you don't want to do. I frequently say, I get a lesson out of everything that happens in my life. If the lesson is simply don't ever do that thing again, guess what? That's a lesson. Don't go that way again. Do it differently. Make sure that you do this thing again. There's always something in there. I am of the mindset of my steps are ordered. My day is designed, my life is designed down to the very makeup of who I am. And if that is the case, then that means that my destiny is designed also. So every step that I take is ordered. And even though those steps don't always lead me in a nice place, they lead me to a place of destiny. It leads me to a location that I am meant to go. And if I am meant to go in this direction, then surely I am to get something out of why I'm there, how I got there, why I went through what I went through. So the things that you experience, they can either keep you stuck and kind of mulling over why it happened to you, or you can use them to help to propel you forward. The difference, okay, is in how you choose to use them. I could go on and on about how our journeys can really cause us to deal with things that we don't necessarily have to continue to deal with. We rehearse, for example, past hurts over and over and over again. And what happens, if you think about it, you have a wound and you continue to put salt in that wound. Well, that wound is going to continue to hurt and it's never going to heal. There's a process for the healing. And from the wound to the healing, there is a lesson in there for you to take and to make into what you need it to be to help you to continue to climb to where it is that you want to go. So we talk about plugging into the lesson or plugging into the journey. I want to tell you some ways in which you can do that. How is it that you can take the things that you've gone through, even the things that you think really aren't profiting you so much? You know, that position that you held for years and years and years that you never really wanted, you never liked doing. But hey, guess what? It helped to bring money into the house. It helped to sustain you. It helped for you to be able to do and to even get around and be able to participate in the things that you really did want to do. So every day when your feet hit the floor, you may not have necessarily wanted them to take you to this place where you had to go, to that place of employment where you had to go in order to make a living. But guess what? There is a lesson in there. Even in the job that you didn't like, there are things that you can pull from them, all right, that you were good at, that you learned to do, that you developed a process for that perhaps didn't have a process. There is something that you can take that's going to help you in developing your plan for what it is that you really want, for that place that you are truly destined to go, for that purpose you are truly there to fulfill, and for the desires of your heart that you really are going to see come to fruition if you faint not, right? All right, so let's talk about that for just a second. Let's talk about that, meaning how is it that you're going to plug into your journey? And of course, you know, Thought Thursday is the segment of the podcast that we do on Thursday nights where I come to you for 15 minutes, maybe a little over 15, but you get the gist of it. And we talk about a pain point. We talk about a way in which we can actually go ahead and move on what it is that we want to do. We get 5 tools that we can use on the other side of this when we come out of this tonight. Those tools are going to be help you to get to the other side of being able to plug into your journey. So let's talk about it for just a second. What are some of the tools that I have in mind? Well, one, how is it that you can plug into your journey and use it to actually help you and actually help you to propel and not hold you back? Well, one thing is you have to let the journey, you have to let the lesson teach you. You have to get a lesson out of each piece of your journey. You know, I already mentioned, you know, the lessons. There's a lesson in the heartbreak. There's a lesson in the disappointment, in that job that you really didn't want to work, in the, you know, friendships that changed that you just knew were going to be with you forever and ever. Amen. And they look totally different. People have changed. The dynamics have changed. The relationship has changed. And instead of sitting there and really dwelling on it and saying, why did this happen to me? Start asking, what did this teach me? How is it that I can move past this? Sometimes the greatest value in what you went through is not the pain itself, but of course, the wisdom that you're going to gain by having gone through that experience, by having lived through that pain. What else can you do? Resilience. Yeah, you have some of it even when you feel that you may be weak, even when you feel that you really kind of give in to those things that really press you all the time, even when you feel that you give up easily. Guess what? I am willing to bet you that there is some bit of resilience in you, and you need to recognize that and you need to plug into it. Listen, you survived things that once made you wonder if you would make it through. I often talk about how there were things that occurred now in my life that, had they occurred 6 or 7 years, 2 years ago, even 1 year ago, I'm not so sure I would have made it through. I'm not so sure that I would have come out whole in the process. Well, guess what? There are some things in your life just like that too, that you survived years ago. There were seasons when you were exhausted. You may say, I'm exhausted now, right? There were seasons when you were discouraged or stressed or uncertain or overwhelmed. But guess what? You're still here. You made it through those. And that counts for something. You are stronger than you think you are. And I would venture to say that message applies to so many of you women out there who feel as though you cannot sustain because you don't have the strength, you don't have the resilience, you don't have the stamina, you don't have what it takes to be able to cross this hurdle. But I also want you to know that we as women, being our design and how we're made up with a certain level of resilience. We take a lot being nurturers. We take a lot being often the glue that holds things together and fixes things. And you need to give yourself credit for being that glue, for being that component that's always available, that has been able to fill in the gaps, that has been able to fit in where necessary to make things work. And that takes a certain level of resilience. You need to understand that you have it, and you need to be able to plug into it. Something else, plug into what it is that you no longer want. Now, how does that make sense, right? I don't want it. Why am I going to plug into it? Well, the same thing. You're going to plug into it because there's something that you're getting out of that. If nothing else, that I don't want that anymore, right? Sometimes the negative things that we go through really help us to get clearer about what it is that we don't want in our lives. I can venture to say that there are some things I know for a fact that I have gone through that I will make every effort possible to ensure that I don't endure that again, because I don't want any part of it in my life. And I know you have some things like that too. It could be a toxic relationship, a toxic job, for example, can teach you what kind of work environment you deserve. If you have been in an environment where you have always been the one who's done the work and gotten none of the credit, then going forward, you understand, perhaps after having done some work, what you have done is really of value. And because of that, you need not shy back, but go ahead and put yourself forward so that you can advance and not stay behind. Lessons like that. A difficult relationship, of course, can teach you what you need in future relationships. A season of burnout can teach you to prioritize self care, right? It can teach you and show you the importance of boundaries and rest and balance. Having been taken advantage of in business relationships, in friendships, in whatever in life, After having gone through that so many times, you finally realize, you know what? I don't want it anymore. I am going to stand up for myself. I am going to stand up for what I believe is mine. I'm going to stand up to develop that business relationship that I deserve to have. I'm going to stand up to have the business the way that I was promised it was supposed to go, the way that I am desiring for it to go. All right. Whatever that is, be able to understand what you no longer want, don't tolerate it, and move in that. All right. So, what is the other thing that you need to do in order to plug into your journey? Well, you need to plug into the story that you have to tell. We all have a story. We've lived life, we've journeyed through life, and in journeying, we have stories to tell. And that story, I always say, of course, is for you. It's the life that you've lived. But we also have a responsibility to share it so that we can help others to get to the other side as well. There's power in your story. And many of you don't realize just how much power you have and just how much power there is in your story. The things that you have gone through, maybe the very things that allow you, that allow to help you to inspire others, to encourage, or to lead someone else, to lead yourself. Your experiences really make you relatable. I often talk about the importance of being authentically yourself. Well, a part of authenticity, of course, the product of authenticity is you being relatable. You don't like your scars. It's okay. Say so. You don't feel as though you are exactly where you need to be. It's okay. Say that as well, but know that you are going to endeavor, that you're going to keep working to get to where it is that you want to be. Your story isn't something that's meant to be hidden, okay? Or nor is your story anything that you are meant to hide from. And that's something to think about. We often think, let's hide from that. I don't, if I don't acknowledge it, then it won't be there. Guess what? It's still there. Face it. Figure how you're going to deal with it. Figure how it's going to move you and work in that realm. Your story is evidence. If it's something that is, whatever it is, it's evidence that you have survived. All right. You've learned. Um, and if you use it properly, it is going to be something that is going to help you to establish who it is that you want to become. All right. It's going to help to establish who you become. Sometimes, the very thing that you're most ashamed of is the thing that really is going to unlock something for you, or going to unlock someone else's healing, someone else's freedom, someone else's courage, or absolutely your healing, your freedom, your courage. What's the fifth tool? Um, Plug in to the fuel. Plug into the fuel. What do I mean by that? Let your pain fuel your purpose. We've kind of been talking about it all night. Let the rejection fuel your confidence. Let the setback kind of fuel your determination. Let any closed door really kind of fuel your creativity. Let the disappointment fuel your next move. Let it all be fuel. Let it be gas in your tank. Put it in the tank and keep the car moving so you can get to where it is that you want to go. Don't waste. Don't waste what you've been through. Use it. Don't just chalk it up to a painful experience and put it back there and forget it. Now, in many instances, we may need to put it in a forget place or put it in a forgetful position so that we can get past it. But what we learn from it, we hold on to. So we let go of how it perhaps damaged us or hurt us in the past. You have to let that go in order to be healed now. But you still remember the lesson that it brought. You still remember that sting, but you don't let that sting bruise you going forward. You move from it. All right. So you can't change, what has happened in your life. Your journey is your journey. You have lived it. There may be some things that you're not so proud of, and other things that you're incredibly proud of. There may be things, in your family history, in your job, in your friendships, whatever it may be, that you are oh so happy occurred, and some things that you just aren't so happy and really would rather not have them be told or seen, but you plug into them because they still are a part of what has happened to you, where you have been, and definitely allow these things to fuel you and propel you forward. Your past doesn't have to be a prison. Don't let it be. I often talk about how we have so many things within us and so many gifts and so many areas in which we can go. And it's as though we're in a glass house and all of those things are right side outside and we can see them. But we have let our past be a prison and we're imprisoned in that house because of what we believe, because of what we've felt, because of just beliefs that have become ingrained, and we can't move. And it's as easy as just going to the door of that glass house and turning the knob so that you can go out. That's what you need to do when you're plugging into your journey. Everything you've experienced has really prepared you for something greater. So plug into it and go ahead and move forward. All right. That's it for tonight. I know I've gone over, but listen, plug into your journey. Be you, be authentically yourself, because ain't nobody out there better than being you than you. And you're unique. That uniqueness is something that we need, that you need to establish who you are, to establish the things that are dear to you, to show your value, to have others to see what it is that you bring, the solutions that you have. Be uniquely yourself in doing that. Go ahead, plug into your journey, use it as your fuel, let it gas up the car so that you can move in the direction that you want to go. Whatever you do, make sure that you do what's necessary to be well. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the holiday that's coming up. Enjoy spending some time alone, hopefully, this weekend in reflection. Make sure that you get the downtime that you need so that you can come back refreshed and renewed in all that you do, so that indeed you can be well.
Mm, New day. Mm. New day, new way. Turn it up, leaning 15 minutes. Let the change begin. Busy life.